The Middle East stands on the precipice of a wider conflict. Recent Israeli strikes targeting Iran and Lebanon have dramatically escalated tensions. These strikes, attributed to Israel, targeted high-profile figures within Hezbollah and Hamas. The assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran sent shockwaves. In Beirut, a strike killed senior Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr. These actions represent a significant escalation in the shadow war between Israel and Iran. They underscore Israel's willingness to conduct bold operations against its enemies. However, these strikes also carry significant risks. They could easily provoke a wider conflict, one that neither side desires. While Israel has not officially confirmed its involvement in the strikes, few doubt their origin. The strikes reflect Israel's policy of disrupting groups it deems existential threats. By targeting key figures and infrastructure, Israel aims to weaken these organizations. Israel argues these actions are necessary to protect its citizens. However, these strikes carry significant risks of escalation. Iran and its allies have vowed to retaliate, raising fears of a tit-for-tat cycle of violence. The specter of all-out war now looms large over the Middle East. While all sides understand the catastrophic consequences of such a conflict, the risk of miscalculation remains high. A single misstep, a misinterpretation of intentions, could tip the balance from tense standoff to full-blown war.
Israel, with its advanced military capabilities, might be tempted to pursue a decisive victory over Iran and its allies. However, such a victory would come at a tremendous cost.
Iran, for its part, cannot hope to match Israel's military might conventionally. Instead, Tehran might resort to asymmetric warfare, unleashing its proxies in Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza to strike at Israeli targets across the region.
Such a conflict would be devastating for all parties involved. Millions of lives would be at risk. The global economy, already fragile, would be thrown into turmoil, and the already volatile Middle East would be plunged into chaos. Avoiding this nightmarish scenario must be the top priority for all involved. The international community has reacted to the recent violence with condemnation and deep concern. The United Nations has called for all parties to exercise maximum restraint.
The United States supports Israel's right to self-defense, but is concerned about a wider conflict. European leaders urge dialogue and diplomacy for a peaceful resolution.
The situation is highly volatile, with a real risk of wider conflagration. The consequences of such a conflict would be catastrophic for the region and the world. The path to de-escalation will be fraught with challenges. Mistrust runs deep between the parties involved. Yet, the alternative, a wider war, is too horrific to contemplate. The international community must work tirelessly to facilitate dialogue and rebuild trust.
First and foremost, channels of communication between Israel and Iran, even if indirect, need to be established and maintained. This will allow for the deconfliction of military activities and reduce the risk of miscalculation.
Second, the international community should encourage confidence-building measures between Israel and Hezbollah, perhaps through negotiations over disputed maritime borders.
Finally, addressing the underlying issues fueling the conflict, particularly the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, is crucial. This will require a renewed international effort to push for a two-state solution, one that guarantees the security and self-determination of both Israelis and Palestinians. While this may seem like a distant prospect in the current climate, it is the only sustainable path to lasting peace in the region. The alternative is too bleak to consider.